Good afternoon. The time is 3 p.m. I'd like to call to order the December 19th, 2023 meeting of the Norwalk Board of Fire Commissioners. We have a quorum. We have Commissioner Oscar DeStrouge, Mayor Harry Rilling. First item on the agenda, acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of Tuesday, November 21st. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner DeStrouge. Are any corrections, deletions, or omissions?
I guess I do have some corrections, but a general comment. For the first time, I noticed that the minutes show a lot of ums and ha in them. I don't know if that's coming from recording and documentation, but I would like for our minutes to reflect correct grammar and the way that everyone correctly reported their businesses. So I would like to have all of the us, the UH, the UMs deleted.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
And because it's a public record, and I think we're accountable and responsible for making sure that what we say is accurately reflected. Is also in various places incorrect. Sorry. There's incorrect grammar. There's no periods, no capitalization on the start of a new sentence. So I would like to ask Telesco to review their the way that they. I'm sorry about that. I hope it's not bad news. I'm waiting for a doctor's call on tests that I had done on my pancreas last Friday. So to be specifically on page 2, the second paragraph, second line, it starts with followed by the word jumped.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct.
Mhm.
They should be removed, and they should be submitted in former format and with
Yes.
proper grammar. I
Mhm.
don't know whether they have a voice recorder that translates the minutes.
Yeah,
That could very well be.
I think it's AI translated, and
Yeah.
so for the first time, I'm disappointed in the accuracy and the amount of errors that propped throughout. On the fire marshal report, on the third line, there's a word, 2 words, Puet event, P-U-E-T event. I don't know what that means. I think it's same thing.
Should be public.
Public event.
Right.
Okay, so that needs to be fixed. Thank you. And then there's on page 6, there's under the upcoming schedule for training, there's a word capitalized evolution. I don't know if it was meant to say evaluation or evolution. Let's see if I can get to
no, there was a training evolution. That's correct.
Training evolution. Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay. And then one more, I think. Yes, on page 7, the correspondence, the retirement letter from D. Acunto. Delete the third sentence, which repeats from the righty drop. Because I don't think we actually said that, but it got repeated into the following paragraph. Let's see if I can get into it.
Okay. Anything else? Any other deletions?
That's all for me.
I have a few, Mayor.
Okay.
So on page 6, under the entry-level exam paragraph, the line that says mentioned that Michelle from it's not Mr.'s office, it should be Mayor's office.
Yes, thank you.
And then a press release, comma, cross out and put in Michelle DeLuca made up posters and banners to get the word out. And then we asked the mayor, not Mr.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wanted to continue. And then
Yeah,
next page on 7, that same paragraph, it's Mr. Luca, not Miss Shields. That I already had done
That's
the
right.
work for the lawn signs and the packets. The
Good
next
catch, Dave.
paragraph, the word Bolton should be boats,
Boats.
not boats and harbors. And that's
Mhm.
all the corrections. And there are quite a bit of the ums in there, so they
Yes.
probably just.
Yeah,
used
we
it-
should take those out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and while we're at it, the formatting of it is also it's not justified. There are some paragraphs that have, like 1/4 of the line is blank,
Right.
the beginning
Yeah.
of the line or in the middle of the
Formatting.
line.
Yeah. So Chief, you'll handle that, would you? Or have your
I'll send her an
staff?
email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send her an email and I'll tell her to make the corrections and to, going forward, to use the proper English language.
Okay, very good. So
Thank you.
all in favor of the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next item, no action items. Now the fire chief's report, chief.
Okay, so we are 5 months into our year now. And you'll notice under the month of November, which looks like the month of August, much higher than the other months. That's because, again, those 2 months have 5 weeks
Mhm.
into the month. So that's why those numbers, the salary expenses and the overtime seems higher because of 5 weeks payout. Again, in the larger firefighting account, we're at 42% for the overtime, which is just above where we should be, because we should be at 41.6%.
Mm-hmm.
But still overall, we were coming in at 38.3%. So, and we talk about this every month. We knew that was gonna happen.
Yep.
So, once we get through the vacations this month, I think next few months, it'll come down a little bit.
Gotcha.
So that's about it for the budget. Not much to talk about.
Any questions, Commissioner?
No questions. Thank you for keeping us within the budget. Overall, 38.3 versus 41 is really good.
Yeah.
41.6, yes.
Okay. Now we have the Assistant Fire Chief of Administration, Assistant Chief Monty.
I just have some updates on the ongoing projects that we have. Our MDT command software and response software. We're still working through everything. We're dealing with the company. We're getting some. We're still building the command software part of it. It's pretty robust software, but we're moving along with that. The stational learning system is nearly complete at this point. We are in testing process, and we actually have some basically the final testing is going to start taking place next month. What we've done is we've elected to I talked to Norcom. We've elected to wait. This kind of goes with BNC, the state radio system migration. PD is already migrated over. DPW, I believe, migrated over last week, and EMS is going over. We're actually the last because it's more complex. We have repeater systems within the vehicles, and Norcom wants us to train on those. But what we've decided, I talked to Norcom, they're going to be here with the station alerting system. So we're going to kind of align both of them together. So it'll be one merge. And it seems like it's going to be an easier process. But they're really hoping end of January or February. So I would say around February, we're hoping to have everything moved over to the alerting system and the radio system. So that's going to be good. For the Station 3 apparatus floor, we have the engineer contract. We're just we have everything done. We just waiting for them to respond now and sign the contract, and then we can get moving for the design of the floor replacement. The bathroom renovation, actually everything has been delivered and they've been moving along. So we should start I think we're starting, look at this week, yeah, is gonna be fixtures. So we're ahead of schedule on that. I'm hoping to be done with that by, obviously the holidays takes a few days, but we're thinking, by mid-January, hopefully that will be all complete, but it's going well, so far. Any questions on anything?
I have none.
No questions. Ahead of schedule is really good. I like that. Thank you.
Always good.
Yep, thank you very much.
Assistant Fire Chief of Operations, Assistant Chief McCabe.
Good afternoon, everyone. Under
Afternoon.
the operations report, our 3 fire recruits have completed their onboarding process, and they are registered to attend the 14-week Connecticut Fire Academy class starting in February. On December 12th, we held a town hall Zoom session for our new test, which will be given in January,
Oh, good.
answering questions regarding the entry-level firefighter exam. We had over 200 people at one point who were called in, and we answered over 200 questions. So it was a successful night. I think we got some good information out to the public, and we did see a rise in our applications after that Zoom meeting. We're up over 630 applicants at this point in time, and those
Wow.
applications stay open until December 31st.
Hey,
Is that midnight?
Yes. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
they have just through the end of 2023 to get those applications in, but it's a good number. I've been in touch with the testing company and the company that's doing the application process, and they feel that everything is on track.
so if an applicant is watching the ball fall, if the ball hits the bottom, they're too late.
Yeah, then they're gonna have to wait a couple of years, but I think the word is out, and like I said, the response has been very good.
Good.
Under item C, the refurbishment of our 2010 KME tiller has been completed up in Watertown, and will be its engine overhaul will be completed in the next day or two. So we're going to be getting that truck back probably this week, and it's slated to go in service as Truck Company 1 out of Broad River after January 1st. And we're ready to place our order for our new rescue truck, which was approved in the 23-24 capital budget. And that paperwork has been completed. That manufacturer is quoting a 46-month delivery time, which unfortunately has become the industry standard. But once that order has been put in, we'll be on track, and we can move on with that process. Under calls for November of 2023, we are at 699 incidents for the month. So just over 23 calls per day average. We had 17 fires, including 4 building fires and 3 vehicle fires, 31 rescues, 27 of which were motor vehicle accidents. We responded to 424 emergency medical responses, 38 hazardous conditions, 28 service calls. We responded to 105 fire alarms and 56 good intent. So cumulatively for January 1st through November 30th, we are at 7,990 incidents and 12,449 total responses. And both of those categories are up about 300 calls from 2022. I can take any questions for the operations report.
I have a question on the fire alarms. Which are the
Yes.
ones that we charge clients for?
We charge clients for malicious and for malfunctions.
Malfunctions.
The majority of them every month are unintentional false,
Mhm.
and that could be anything from a pot of food unintentionally sets off a fire alarm system, someone smoking near a detector, that type of thing, where the detector actually did its job. It went off
Right.
for the right reason, but it was an unintentional alarm.
Okay.
For the ones that are actual malfunctions and malicious alarms, those are the ones that the city charges for.
Good, because they need to keep their equipment up to date and ensure that it's working properly.
Correct. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Next is the Fire Marshal's report. Fire Marshal McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Good afternoon, and
Afternoon.
So the statistics for November, were pretty consistent with, what they were the previous month. The inspections total, was up just a little bit, at 203. The notifications down just a little bit at 27. Public education events, we had 3. Plan reviews, 8, which equaled $750. Liquor licenses, we had 8 of those, equaling $520 for a total income for the fire marshal's office of $1,270. Continuing on the summary, monthly summary, as far as fire marshal investigations, there were 7 fires that we were called to for investigations, 3 code issues or miscellaneous hazards, for a total of 10 investigations. For those numbers, again, they're pretty consistent with October numbers, and up quite a bit from what they were in September. The fire calls that we had responded to the investigations, a couple of those were cooking issues, a couple of those were heating issues. The public education events that we had, Deputy Fire Marshal Jack Kelly wrapped up his cooking safety campaign at Kingsway Senior Apartments, where he did a presentation on cooking safety for seniors, as well as the evacuation and fire drill with the management there. And we had a smoke alarm install on West Rock Grove.
Mhm.
Now, last month, or actually several months ago, I created a new section for our fire marshal reports called Notable. And that included some of the notable violations that our office had found, or some of the different notable investigations that we've been on. So I'm continuing with that segment, and the notable incidents for November were a couple that had we had seen earlier in the year, summertime, where we had reported several restaurants, bars and restaurants that had the foam insulation on the ceiling that was being used to try to use it as soundproofing.
Yeah.
So Impanina, 70 North Main Street, we also had found patio heaters being used in a enclosure, dining enclosure, really not code permitted for that type of heater. And also we had found that those propane tanks for the heaters were being stored inside the structure in the basement. We also found a very similar scenario last month where there was over 20 propane cylinders stored in the basement of a commercial structure. There was another tavern where we had found illegal ceiling decorations. So different than what we had last month, where they were using the foam on the ceiling for soundproofing. This was more of a decorative format, but either way, the material was not fire rated and had to be removed because one of the situations, if you recall, the Station nightclub, one of the big problems with that fire that had killed so many people was the rapid spread of the fire due to foam being used as soundproofing. Anyhow, I just like to highlight those type of things that our inspectors find. It's well worth the noting when they do come across scenarios like that, which really, I like to say they save lives. Not like firefighters saving lives where they pull somebody out of the burning building. We try to save lives before there even is a fire. And the last on that notable list for November was at the Sear Hill condos. Initially came in as a fire call. Long story short, we had found through the investigation that the contractor installed a water heater that was a natural gas fired water heater. It was installed on a propane system. That was really a scenario that could have caused a lot of carbon monoxide deaths if it hadn't been straightened out. Yeah, so anyhow, any questions, gentlemen?
I like those notable incidents because it tends to show that the inspections are being done. There are people that question whether we're doing inspections as required. We always try to show how we are doing the inspections. So I like those. I think that's great.
Well, thank you.
My question is the alternative, the follow-up. So you gave an order to fix the violations, but what's the follow-up on that end? If they don't act, do we close them down?
Well, in a commercial building like that, yes, we can go back at any point in time. We don't need a reason, but we try to do so without interrupting their business. In other words, we wouldn't go in during a busy lunch hour, and perform an inspection. We try to do it when, again, it's really not going to affect their business. But typically, in a scenario like that, we have them resolve the violation even before they remain, in order for them to remain open, we need the
like for example, for example, on Mykonos Tavern, is the ceiling removed? Has
yes.
been removed?
Well, the decorative material had been removed, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And same thing with the propane tanks. Something like propane tanks in the basement of a commercial structure, that's a big hazard. And we will actually not leave the site until all those tanks are removed.
Okay, it would be helpful to us in order to avoid these kind of questions from us to indicate on your report how it was resolved. In other words, the case has been closed and the item was removed. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you.
Good report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Luca, Emergency Management.
Hi, good afternoon. So really quickly, we did the winter storm briefing earlier in the month, and I did send out the slide deck to everybody. Again, just that's a regular refresher that we do on snow emergencies, how Public Works responds, clearance, some of the cold weather safety information, and just kind of getting everybody on the same page should we have a winter storm. We did have 2 smaller winter events, storm events, one last week, one this week, last night. Fortunately, pretty lucky compared to central and eastern parts of Connecticut. But we still do have some power outages. We're down to about 28 outages from yesterday that Eversource continues to try to resolve. So we'll stay on top of them until full power is restored. SNU and TDD, no outages reported for them. And then also we'll be meeting with Public Works and GIS tomorrow to talk about some real-time monitoring of events. Since again, we do a lot virtually now. So really try to build up some of those resources. So we're able to track across, depending on, again, whoever is, whether in the EOC, in our offices, working from home. We have the shared Excel spreadsheet that's good for road closures, but we also want to see if there's a better way to do some mapping when the supervisors close out jobs, be able to see that a little bit easier. So hopefully we can try to find a few creative options that will be helpful. And then lastly, I'm going to reach out to the health department, the library, and some of our community partners now that winter is here, to maybe reinstitute the Pedro the Penguin program, which we did a couple years ago with the Red Cross. It's just a really fun safety program. that kids can do at home with their families. And again, has kind of ties into the FEMA programs with again, a very cute penguin, giveaways and a few other things. So again, kind of tying into winter safety and preparedness. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll figure that out.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you for the updates over the weekend. They were very helpful.
I feel like I drive people crazy, but it's always hard to know.
Hey,
Things change so quickly.
the community needs to be informed, so we thank you for what you're doing.
Great, thank you.
I gotta turn my light on here. My light goes out if I'm at my computer, so it's energy saving. So good. Okay, thank you. Better to know too much than to know not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have the training division report, Deputy Chief Capola.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioner Distrush.
Good afternoon.
Have a normal busy time in the training office. Currently, we are utilizing the Hatch and Bailey Lumberyard vacant properties for our ladder companies to train together, doing aerial training basically, with the intention of at some point in the future getting into the building to do some interior work prior to demolition. We're still working, getting some of our members that need Q licenses trained. That's ongoing. We have been doing some training with Station 1 members for the arrival of the new refurbished Truck 1. It is different from what they're used to, so we're allowing them time and facilitating training so they can get up to speed operating similarly to the current killer at Station 2. We had 3 of our members complete satisfactorily the Connecticut Fire Academy Certification Instructor 1 course, which allows them to help us really in training any member that's an instructor. It's always good to have more hands to do that. We've been using the forcible entry training prop ongoing with all companies. Currently, the Flashpoint Fire Dynamics class is ongoing this week. It's just completed day 2 today, and that is a fire behavior lab meeting NFPA training requirements for fire behavior training for our members. The wellness program, I think this is one of the first times I actually presented data on the wellness program, and I apologize for that. I think this is valuable to include in the report. The program is alive and flourishing. We have assessments and goal establishment for the members who participate in the program for 2024 is ongoing. Our fitness coordinator is meeting with members to establish physical fitness training goals for the coming year. And the participation rate is at approximately 80% of membership actively involved, which I think is great. It's a good number. Some of the stuff we completed recently, we completed the Metro North Metropolitan Transit Authority joint training exercise at the Walk Bridge construction site. I put a couple of pictures together in a photo collage for you guys to look at for that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great training. Lots of different agencies involved, and we were able to get a really good training exercise in with our rescue company and Engine 2 in a confined space within the structure of the bridge. Very, very interesting training day. We completed the Connecticut Fire Academy building construction class with 10 students were in it. Again, the fire service instructor 1 course is completed. At the time of my report, it was actually ongoing. It's completed now. The 3- and 6-month probationary firefighter evaluations have been completed and entered into the personnel files for those members, and they are very, very positive results. Nothing negative in any of the 8 members that we appointed in June. Absolutely all positive comments from the officers, which I think is great. And then the rescue has been ongoing with some rope mechanical advantage work, and that's kind of ongoing. And we did that as part of preparation for the drill at the bridge. And the guys on the rescue and girls are very into it, and they just continue to do that training on a regular basis. Some of the stuff we have upcoming, with Alan Lowe, I have Alan Lowe on the hook for getting me immediate notification when we're allowed to get into the inside of some of the vacant Hatch and Bailey buildings, including destructive training evolutions, hopefully forcing doors, metal cutting of roll-up doors, and cutting the roofs possibly. Hopefully that happens in the spring. I'm working on that. The N95 fit respirator fit testing I'm going to be starting in 2024 early. The next round of department NFPA compliant physicals is in process. We're really trying to get that started for March of 2024. The Trauma Recovery Network orientation for new members is going to be scheduled for January. That's going to change after the completion of the minutes. We actually noticed that we have to run extra EMS refresher classes, so that's going to be rescheduled to March. Bullet point number 5, EMS recertification refreshers are beginning January 2024. That's a really large training effort. We have approximately 20 members per shift needing to update their EMS cards, and that's not for any lack of trying. That's just based on the schedule and how members have to recertify every 2 years for that. That's going to start right after the new year, January 2nd, as a matter of fact. We have a scheduled forcible entry training with our police officer partners scheduled for January 2024. And most likely I'll be facilitating that training, as many members are going to be in the recertification class for EMS. The entry-level firefighter exam scheduled for the 13th of January at Brian McMahon. I know that's cited in the minutes later on for old business. We've been fielding a lot of phone calls on that. People asking questions, leaving messages, and answering all the messages in timely fashion. The deputy fire marshal exam scheduled for January 25th for the written portion, and the oral examination portion for the 26th of 2024. And we were granted a host pump operator certification course scheduled for May of 2024. That's a 6-day certification program for pump operators. I'm sure I'm going to have several members of our department interested in that program, as well as surrounding towns. That's my report for the month of December. And if there's any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
At the risk of repeating myself month after month, I hold the fire department training program up to anything that I've seen. So congratulations, a lot of good training, but you can never train too much. So thank you.
Mary. Absolutely. Thank you.
I echo those words.
Okay, now I look at the next thing is the update on the new entry-level exam. I think we kind of covered that, but the chief, do you have any more, or anybody have any more on it?
Just
That you
just
need to-
wanted, well, just wanted to echo what both of the chiefs said. We are answering emails and phone calls regarding the test on a daily basis. And we've handed out quite a few postcards with all the information on it for the websites. So I think the recruitment is going pretty good. We're approaching the 700 number, which will probably involve 2 days of testing at the high schools like we did the last time. But we'll know, obviously, by the end of the month, we'll know how many people we have. So just wanted to let you know that the recruitment is in full force. So
I do want to commend you and the team. You're really getting the word out there. People are talking about it. I know a lot of people from Norwalk are interested. I know the, I'm doing the so, but I know the churches, the faith-based organizations are being contacted. So really, you're doing everything you possibly can to get the word out, and that's really good. That's where we're going to get greater numbers and get the highest quality of candidate.
yeah, that's what we're shooting for.
Good news. Thank you.
So before we adjourn, I would like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, a very healthy, happy, and prosperous 2024. And thank you for all the wonderful work you do. And I always like to commend firefighters and police officers for being out there when others are sleeping, being on duty when others are at home with their families, protecting lives, and just doing a wonderful, wonderful job. So again, thank you to all of you.
I echo
you.
those words, and also I thank your families for allowing you to dedicate the time to our city.
Amen.
Thank you.
So now with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned at 3:35 PM. Take care, everybody, and thanks again.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas Day.